Thank you for joining us today on Urban Beats Radio 2. I am your show host, Rashawn Ellis, and today we have a packed show for you. We are also introducing new team member, Mr. Anthony Wright, aka the Chef, and he's also going to be joining me today as we interview that new artist, Blanchard, who's bringing us new music from his new project. And we're also interviewing Miss Ashiree Griffin, who's going to be sharing her beautiful voice with us today. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Hello everyone, this is Anthony Wright, the Chef. We're chopping it up for you and we're bringing something delicious for you to think about and to eat on. Here on Urban Beats Radio 2, we want to make sure that we provide a variety of different things for you to think about and to digest concerning our communities, our world, and how it affects us. Earlier this week in the news, Senator Mitch McConnell, brought up the statement about reparations and how one of his statements were, we've allowed you to have a black president, Barack Obama, that's part of some of the reparations that you've received already. And for me, that's not a reparation. He earned that position. People believed in him. We believed in him. And more than just us as African Americans, people of different nationalities within the United States. What do you think about that?
I also agree with you. By him making the statement that he made, it's almost like saying, that should be enough.
Right, exactly.
We gave African Americans the top honor by having an elected African American president in office, so that should be enough for you. And he also went on to say as well that, that happened then, that had nothing to do with us, but we'll also be tied to that experience, that history, that will forever be, in our history. So how can you say that didn't happen to us? It did happen to us, and it's also because of your ancestors, it happened.
And it's currently affecting us today.
Exactly.
The things that have happened during slavery and subsequent propaganda and the manipulation of the systems to keep us under their thumb has been basically the main purpose of everything that's going on.
Right.
Their unwillingness to give us reparations or provide reparations for the descendants of slaves is another way in order to keep us as a people from having the resources to move to another level of achievement and empowerment. That's my position. Not everyone's going to believe that. Not everyone's going to say, oh, I think reparations is a good thing. I believe that reparations would put us, or at least give us the opportunity to move to that next level, whether it provides the finances for education, business acquirement, investments in real estate, and just investing in us as a people.
In our community, bringing it back to the community, that would be great.
Starts in the family, outside the home with our neighbors, our communities, our whole culture.
Absolutely, I agree with you. So how do we go about, doing that? Do you think that we should organize for it?
We already have a group of leaders out there that we believe share our same interests. At least I hope they do.
Yeah.
And I think that we need to sit down and think this whole thing out properly. Not just a plan, Let's get the information. Sit down with each other, communicate, find out how can we use this? How do we acquire this and not use it improperly? How do we use it to benefit us in a more constructive, enlightened way?
So it doesn't just sound like we're all about the money. Pay us.
Just getting something just because we believe we deserve it.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, again, we are affected. We as African Americans are affected by much of what has gone on back in the past in slavery. And a great quote that I believe in is, if you don't remember your past, you're doomed to relive it.
Right, you repeat it.
And if we don't learn to benefit from the past, learn to use what we've learned and what we've gone through as a stimulus to making better decisions, helping our community, we are going to put ourselves in a position that will lead us into more turmoil. We have to do better. We have to increase ourselves financially, knowledge base, and as a community.
I agree. I also think that if they do pass a reparation law and let that happen, I actually think it will probably bring healing to what happened. That probably will be the mens that is needed throughout all this time, all this stuff that's happened, like, you know, in our country, what we're known for, black and white issues, this, that, and the other. I think it probably would bring healing, and maybe that could probably settle a lot of the racism, the back and forth going on. It will say, okay, we did make that amends. We did do that. We did correct it.
Or at least made the attempt
Try it at least.
to try to
Absolutely.
make right what happened in the past.
Exactly, and I agree with you.
There's no making it completely great,
Right.
but
They tried to do
we're
something.
trying.
They made an attempt to do something.
And not a false try. Not just saying, oh, we made this
I
attempt.
honestly believe that will calm down the climate of racism, the bickering, the back and forth, and about what happened. That would probably really bring the peace.
I don't know if it's going to calm down the climate,
Try
because
a little bit.
There are still those out there that are breeding that type of thought process. And
I mean, it's going to always be somebody out there that's still going to try to, get it going. But
So-
at least if the government, puts their hands in it and at least try, then that will kind of maybe settle it just a little bit.
all right.
Okay, that was an interesting discussion. I'm glad we got a chance to, talk about that, because that's what's
we gotta
going
chop
on
it
right
up,
about
gotta
now.
chop it up.
Yeah, I mean, especially that, like now, since it's around election time, we're hoping that a lot of the senators aren't just pushing the reparation law to get votes.
Exactly.
If you're really about that, yeah, if you're about that, really be about that. Don't just do it for an agenda or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up and get ready to introduce the first new artist that we're going to interview today, which is Blanchard. He's bringing us new music from his new and upcoming project. So stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
The brother has a lot to say.
Yes, he does.
Boy, what you tryna wait on? You better kick that monkey and get that money. Boy, what you tryna wait on?
Urban Beats Radio 2, the chef, Anthony Wright, and Miss Rashawn Ellis, here today with an excellent, enlightened brother by the name of Blanchard. Thank you for joining us today, brother.
How you guys doing today?
Thank you so
Doing
much.
wonderful, doing great.
Thank you.
Great.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
All right.
Absolutely.
Mr. Blanchard, tell us, where are you from, and how did this whole thing come about with your music and all the things you have going on?
Originally, I'm from Sacramento, California, and I moved out here when I graduated from college. And music has been a part of my life pretty much since as long as I can remember, as far as writing.
Right.
I used to rap when I was younger. I was always into music. I used to listen to the oldies with my parents,
Okay.
Al Green, Earth, Wind and Fire, all that, Isley. So
Good foundation.
I've always been into music. But as far as me actually recording music, I pretty much started a couple of years ago, maybe about 5 years ago. I started, I just went to the studio. I had a chance to meet up with a guy that had a program in one of the schools I worked in. And he basically, had like a mobile recording setup.
Right.
And he asked me if I wanted to record.
Right.
I had the kids doing it, but I wanted to do it. So
Yeah.
that's how history was made. And shout out to Hustle.
Shout out to Hustle.
Hustle.
All right, that's excellent. So tell me, what's the best part of your craft with the rap and the knowledge base that you have of trying to get information out there? What's the best part of that?
I think the best part is creating something from nothing.
Yeah.
You can just have an idea in your head, and that simple idea or even a thought can manifest into an actual product, which is, music. That's what I like most about it. I think that the one thing about artistry is anything can inspire art.
Absolutely.
And so I literally can have a song and be inspired by something simple, an experience, a girl walking by, a job, a situation on a job, anything can inspire, music. So that's what I enjoy about it, just creating, something from nothing.
And that's one of the most important things for us here at Urban Beats Radio is music that moves you, music that inspires. It brings something to it that a person can listen to it,
Yeah.
it can touch on something in their past.
Yeah.
It could bring you inspiration for the very next day. Music, craft, creativity.
Yeah.
With your music career, you are a part of the Two Kings podcast.
Two Kings
Tell
in
us
the
something
Pod.
about that.
Yeah, Two Kings in the Pod is me and my boy Chris, and we just decided to put some of these, great ideas and these thoughts we have
Right.
on wax, so to speak,
okay.
and let the world really hear what we had to say.
Yeah.
I believe that a lot of the great voices that we have in our community get drowned out by all the the commercial stuff, you know, the ridiculous stuff they want to promote about us. And I just feel like we have to promote the excellence amongst our people.
Absolutely.
And I felt like Two Kings was symbolic because I feel like we are royalty. You know, I feel like we are the, you know, God in the flesh. So Two Kings is us just really giving back to the world, you know, trying to spark up dialogue, conversations, give input, insight, and entertain
Absolutely.
at the same time.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And also, so what message will your fans get from your podcasting shows and your music? Both things that you do.
I would say that I see myself as someone that kind of pushes the envelope.
Yeah.
Like even on my album, I have a song that's like with the 80s vibe. I have a song on there that's kind of like I call urban pop. You know, I have songs in there kind of like a spoken word put to a track. So it's just kind of pushing the envelope and making people think, you know, getting folks out of their comfort zone. You know, my thing is, if you want to grow, you got to be uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
So you have to actually challenge and push yourself. And that may mean at the expense of your craft, meaning that I may drop an album that doesn't get recognized until 5 years from now. But that's how artistry works sometimes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have a song on my album, Feeling Like, where I talk about, you know, feeling like Van Gogh, where Van Gogh was this great artist, but he wasn't great till after he had been dead for years.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, but his paintings sold for hundreds of millions of dollars. So I just like to push the envelope. I just believe that we got to start, you know, taking this thing to the next level, even with podcasting, even touching on topics, even how we have the shows set up, just being different, trying to be cutting edge, you know, not trying to fit in that little cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And stay inside a little trap box.
Yeah, that little
Different.
box, you
Be
know.
different. Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm outside the box like some old shoes, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how I feel about what I'm doing.
Right. Absolutely. And so what other projects do you have in the works outside of your music and your podcasting shows?
I mean, really, I've been doing my music, my podcast, and also, you know, my clothing line. You know,
Hustle Hard Mouthpiece.
Hustle Hard Mouthpiece.
Okay.
Right,
All
all right.
right. Okay.
And you know, we do this every day. You know, we're doing this right now. You know, the hustle is, you know, getting out there, getting after it, you know, putting your feet to the road. You know, your heart is why you're doing it, where your passion's coming from.
Right.
Yeah.
And then your mouthpiece, being able to talk it. You know,
Right.
they say the power of death is in the, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So, you know,
Exactly.
we got to speak things into existence. So all these key elements to me are important. I remember being, where this all started was in Miami. And
My hometown.
in Miami, we was on South Beach, and
Right.
I remember going down there, and we were unemployed.
Sounds like a lot of us sometimes.
Listen,
Okay.
Hey, there's
But
always
we-
a transition.
Just understood.
Transition.
my boy Saeed convinced me to go down there. Didn't have any money, but you
Yeah.
know, went down there anyway. And when I tell you that's the most fun I ever had with no money, we got into
There you go.
every
You know,
party.
Miami.
There you go.
Miami for real. We got into every party, VIP. I'm talking, we did all this stuff, and
Yeah.
I promise you all,
Yeah.
I'm not lying. I spent $44 that weekend and went to 8 events. I'm talking about everything.
Where
So
you get the money from? That's the funny part. You still had a good time.
still had a good
Still had a good
time.
time. All right.
So we
Absolutely.
walking down the street, and Saeed said, "Man, all I got is my heart and my word," and that stuck with me because he was like, "I'm not gonna lie to these folks. I'm gonna tell them my spiel. If they let me in, good. They don't."
Right.
And that attitude got us in everywhere. So I take that to this:
Yeah.
be yourself, be honest, tell the truth.
That's right.
You know, have your passion, speak with authority, and I guarantee good things will happen.
Absolutely.
Definitely,
Absolutely.
brother, definitely.
I like the way you use your art to get your message out. You use your art in your podcasting shows to get your message out, and you do the same thing in your music. You can really hear it in all your delivery of your lyrics and everything that you say. Everything that comes out of you, you can feel that.
Yeah, and that's what I try to do. To me, we got to get back to being real, and I'm not gonna do it if I don't feel it. So
Absolutely, you gotta
we
be
shouldn't
real.
be like you mentioned your passions earlier about what you want to do, but I can tell you're passionate about that. That's
Yes.
something that you're passionate about.
Yes.
So guess what? It's going to manifest into something good. Like you're doing what you're doing because you're passionate about it.
Yes.
It's going to manifest into something good. This is what we need. Like we
Absolutely.
need more people doing this.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
you guys inspire me though. So I just want to say that
You're,
to you.
you're an inspiration too.
We're,
All
we're,
you
we're
guys are
doing it
inspiration.
we're doing it so that we can all grow from it.
Absolutely.
Growth.
Absolutely.
It's important, very important.
It's very important. And so also, where can your fans connect with you on social media?
You guys can follow me on He Is Blanchard. It's on Instagram, He Is Blanchard, and on Twitter. You guys can, and also He Is Blanchard on YouTube, a YouTube channel. And then you guys can reach me on, my music is on all digital media platforms. That's iTunes, Spotify, Tidal. Anywhere music is sold, my music will be there.
All right.
Facebook, Robinson Blanchard, or he is Blanchard.
Yes.
I'm everywhere.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
I'm internationally known and locally accepted.
Hey, hey, and hopefully it gets even bigger.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure it will.
I receive
We're
it.
gonna
sure
do
it
it. We're
will.
gonna do it. We want to
Sure
make sure we
will.
get it out there.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us today, sharing your art, your talent, your soul. I mean, I feel
Definitely,
everything
definitely.
that comes from you. So I know you're going to go far. You're going to do big things.
I receive it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving us the time and opportunity. And we will be keeping in contact with you to see what happens next.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you all.
so much.
Thank you for joining us,
Thank you.
brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, we're about to interview a brand new young lady. She's just getting into the industry. She's going to be sharing her beautiful voice with us, her talent. Her name is Miss Ashiree Griffin. So stay with us. Stay tuned.
All in my face and they won't let me.
Urban Beats Radio 2 wants to welcome Ashiree Griffin, a young aspiring artist that's coming up in Atlanta. She's going to be sharing her beautiful voice with us today. Ashiree, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. So can you tell us a little bit about where you're from?
I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I grew up in Decatur, but I'm currently now living in Roswell, you know, from school and system.
Okay, awesome. That's wonderful. So how long have you been singing?
I've been singing, I feel like I've been singing since I was 2 years old, but if I want to say I learned when I knew I could sing, I guess it was like when I was 6 or 7.
Okay.
That's when I knew I could sing.
That's when you knew you had the passion to want to be in music.
My man just
Awesome.
standing up in front of everybody trying to sing.
That is awesome. That's awesome. So do you know what you want to do after you finish school?
Well, I love film, and I want to become a director, so that's what I want to go to college for. And I also want to sing, so those like the two main things I really want to do. When
You
I get
got
out of
two
school.
things that you can choose from then. Awesome, absolutely.
So, wanting to be a director and an artist, a singer, what are your main inspirations when it comes to film and directing?
Like who inspires me?
Who inspires you? Type of films that inspires you?
Well, Tyler Perry. Like, 'cause
Tyler Perry,
I
okay.
see his movies and stuff. I'm like, oh, I can do that. I want to
Okay.
make movies and stuff. And then when I see like music videos, I'm like, oh, I can sing and direct my video.
Right, okay.
Absolutely.
Good base, good base.
That's the
All right, good.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So with the directing, what school are you interested, or what areas of directing besides movies like Tyler Perry? Do you see yourself doing major role films or keeping it independent and where you control everything?
Well, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I control too much. Like I always want to be like, I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. Like, I feel like I want to do everything, but I can't do everything. So I do want to. Yeah, I get it. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. And so where can your fans connect with you on social media?
My Instagram.
Instagram?
Yes,
Okay.
it's ALYNNISE.G. And people get confused by that. They're like, what is that? I'm like,
Yeah.
it's my first name and my middle name together.
Got you.
Yeah.
So would you mind giving us a little bit of what you do?
Yes.
Show the world your talent.
Okay, let me see.
All right, let me give her a little introduction. Urban Beats Radio 2, the chef, we're chopping it up with Miss Ashiree, and she's going to give us a song of hers. Please, will you welcome her?
And the feeling's overwhelming, it's much too strong. Can I lay by your side next to you?
Okay, I'm so
Great,
proud of
great,
you. I mean, I see big things happening for you. You gave me chills, girl.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you do. Oh, wow. That was
moving
awesome.
forward. Keep
Absolutely.
investing in yourself.
Thank you.
Nobody knows, they say it's just my ego. I'm trying to sell out the show. They got
So, Anthony, what do you think of today's show, our guest?
I think our show was excellent. We provided two things, I think. We provided some enlightenment
Absolutely.
and we provided some entertainment.
Absolutely.
You know, we want to always try to bring something that people can chew on, some meat, you know, for them to digest and process. And we also want to bring some joy.
Right. You want to give them a
That's
little bit of
very important.
entertainment? a little bit of entertainment and knowledge.
Definitely.
Take something with you. So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Urban Beats Radio 2. Don't forget to go to our new YouTube channel, like us and subscribe to us, and also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And also don't forget, dreams don't work unless you do.
That's right.
Thank you.
Urban Beats Radio 2.
Cause they all in my face and they won't let me escape like I'm running from the chase.